What if the greatest civilization in human history disappeared in a single night, and the world forgot it ever existed? For thousands of years, people have searched for Atlantis, the lost city hidden beneath the ocean. Some believe it was only a myth. Others believe scientists may have finally uncovered evidence that Atlantis was real. But what really happened to this mysterious civilization? Was Atlantis an advanced world destroyed by a catastrophic disaster? Or is there a darker truth buried deep beneath the sea, waiting to be discovered? From ancient writings and underwater ruins to terrifying modern theories, tonight we uncover the ancient world's biggest secret, the civilization that vanished overnight. And if Atlantis truly existed, then human history may be far different than we were ever told. I am Professor Carter, and in today's documentary, we dive deep into the greatest mystery in human history, Atlantis. More than 2,000 years ago, an ancient Greek philosopher named Plato told a story that would become one of the greatest mysteries in human history. He wrote about a powerful island civilization known as Atlantis, a kingdom filled with enormous temples, advanced engineering, massive ships, and unimaginable wealth. According to Plato, Atlantis existed far beyond the Pillars of Hercules, what we now call the Strait of Gibraltar. To the ancient world, this was the edge of the known Earth. And somewhere beyond those waters, Plato claimed, stood a civilization unlike anything humanity had ever seen. Atlantis was not described as a small kingdom. It was said to be an empire powerful enough to control vast parts of the ancient world. Its cities were built in perfect circles, surrounded by enormous canals connected to the sea. Giant walls covered in shining metals protected the capital. Ships moved through carefully designed waterways, carrying gold, silver, ivory, and rare treasures from distant lands. At the center of Atlantis stood a magnificent temple dedicated to Poseidon, the god of the sea. Massive statues towered above the city, while flames from giant torches reflected across the water at night. To anyone who saw it, Atlantis must have looked like a civilization centuries ahead of its time. But according to the legend, Atlantis was not only wealthy, it was dangerously ambitious. As its power grew, so did its hunger for control. Plato claimed the rulers of Atlantis began conquering nearby lands, expanding their empire across the seas. Their armies became unstoppable. Their navy dominated the oceans. Many believed Atlantis could never fall. But beneath the beauty and power of the island, something darker was growing. The people of Atlantis had become consumed by greed, arrogance, and corruption. And according to the story, the gods themselves began to notice. Then, without warning, disaster struck. Plato described a terrifying series of earthquakes and floods that shook the entire region. The ground cracked apart. Massive waves crashed against the cities. Buildings collapsed into the sea as panic spread across the island. In what was described as a single day and night of destruction, Atlantis disappeared beneath the ocean forever. An entire civilization gone. No survivors, no remains. Only silence beneath the water. For thousands of years, people believed the story was nothing more than a myth, but others refused to let the mystery die. As centuries passed, explorers, historians, and treasure hunters became obsessed with finding Atlantis. Some believed it was hidden deep beneath the Atlantic Ocean. Others claimed it existed near the Mediterranean Sea. Maps were drawn, expeditions were launched. Strange underwater structures discovered around the world only added fuel to the mystery. From the coast of Spain to the waters near Greece, researchers began searching for clues that could prove Plato's story was based on something real. And with every discovery, one question continued to haunt humanity. What if Atlantis actually existed? What made the mystery even stranger was the detail in Plato's writings. He described Atlantis with surprising precision. Its layout, its rulers, its resources, even the way its harbors were designed. Some historians argue that no ordinary myth could contain such complex descriptions. Others believe Plato may have based Atlantis on a real civilization, destroyed by a catastrophic natural disaster long ago. If that is true, then somewhere beneath the oceans of our planet, the ruins of a forgotten world may still remain hidden in darkness, waiting to be discovered. For centuries, many scholars dismissed Atlantis as nothing more than a fictional story invented by Plato. They argued that the philosopher created the tale to teach a lesson about power, greed, and the downfall of corrupt societies. But not everyone agreed. Some researchers noticed something unusual hidden inside Plato's writings. Unlike ordinary myths filled with magical creatures and impossible events, the story of Atlantis contained geography, politics, architecture, and historical detail. It felt less like fantasy and more like a memory from a distant past. That single possibility would ignite one of the largest historical searches the world has ever seen. One of the strongest theories connects Atlantis to an ancient civilization known as the Minoans. Nearly 4,000 years ago, the Minoans lived on the island of Crete in the Mediterranean Sea. They built enormous palaces, advanced ports, and complex cities filled with art and technology far ahead of their time. Their ships dominated regional trade routes, making them one of the most powerful civilizations of the ancient world. But around 1600 BCE, disaster struck. A massive volcanic eruption exploded on the nearby island of Thera, modern-day Santorini, creating one of the deadliest natural catastrophes in human history. The eruption was so powerful that it sent enormous tsunamis crashing across the Mediterranean. Entire coastal cities were destroyed within moments. Ash darkened the skies for miles, poisoning crops and collapsing economies. Archaeologists believe the Minoan civilization never fully recovered after the disaster. To some historians, the similarities are impossible to ignore. A wealthy island civilization, destroyed suddenly by floods and earthquakes, disappearing into history. Many believe Plato may have heard ancient stories about this catastrophe and transformed them into the legend of Atlantis centuries later. But other theories are far more mysterious. Some researchers believe Atlantis existed far beyond the Mediterranean. In the early 20th century, explorers began searching the Atlantic Ocean itself, convinced the lost civilization could still rest beneath the seafloor. Strange underwater formations discovered near the Bahamas sparked global attention. Massive stone blocks underwater became known as the Bimini Road, and some claimed they were the remains of ancient roads or walls built by a forgotten civilization. Scientists argued the formations were natural, but believers saw them as possible evidence that Atlantis had finally been found. As technology improved, the search only became more intense. Sonar scans revealed strange structures deep beneath the ocean. Satellite images exposed mysterious patterns hidden under deserts and coastlines around the world. Every new discovery reopened the debate. Was Atlantis simply a warning story created by Plato? Or was humanity slowly uncovering traces of a civilization erased by time itself? Because if Atlantis was real, then history may be hiding something far more terrifying than anyone ever imagined. As the mystery of Atlantis spread across the world, the story began attracting more than historians and archaeologists. Writers, explorers, and conspiracy theorists started creating their own ideas about what Atlantis truly was. Some believed it was not just an advanced civilization, but a society far beyond anything known in the ancient world. According to these theories, Atlantis possessed technology so powerful that it disappeared along with the civilization itself. Strange claims began to emerge. Stories of energy crystals, advanced machines, and knowledge lost beneath the ocean thousands of years ago. While there is no scientific evidence to support these ideas, they transformed Atlantis from a historical mystery into a global obsession. During the late 19th century, interest in Atlantis exploded after the publication of a controversial book called Atlantis, the Antediluvian World, by writer Ignatius Donnelly. He argued that Atlantis was a real place and the source of all major ancient civilizations. According to Donnelly, the Egyptians, the Maya, and even early European cultures inherited their knowledge from this lost empire. His theories captured the imagination of millions. Suddenly, Atlantis was no longer viewed as just a Greek legend. It became a possible missing chapter of human history. Even today, many modern theories about Atlantis trace back to Donnelly's ideas. The rise of underwater exploration only added more mystery. Divers and researchers began discovering ancient ruins submerged beneath oceans and lakes across the world. Near the coast of Japan, enormous stone formations were found deep underwater, with sharp edges and staircase-like shapes that appeared almost man-made. Similar discoveries were reported near Cuba, India, and the Mediterranean Sea. Each discovery triggered the same question again and again. Could these ruins belong to civilizations destroyed by rising seas thousands of years ago? Scientists often explained them as natural geological formations, but the mystery refused to disappear. Then came one of the most unsettling possibilities of all. Some researchers suggested that human civilization may be far older than we realize. They argued that thousands of years before recorded history began, advanced societies could have existed during the last ice age, only to vanish after catastrophic floods and climate disasters reshaped the planet. Rising sea levels would have swallowed entire coastal cities, burying them beneath hundreds of feet of water. If Atlantis existed during that forgotten age, most evidence of its existence could still be hidden beneath the oceans today, impossible to reach and almost impossible to detect. What makes Atlantis so powerful is not just the mystery of whether it existed, but the terrifying possibility that humanity may have already lived through the collapse of an advanced civilization once before. Across the world, ancient flood myths appear in nearly every culture. Stories of great disasters that destroyed entire worlds. Some believe these legends are connected fragments of a forgotten truth passed down through generations. And if that is the case, Atlantis may not simply be a myth about the past. It could be a warning about how quickly civilization itself can disappear. In recent years, new discoveries beneath the ocean have pushed the Atlantis mystery into an entirely new era. Advanced sonar technology has allowed researchers to scan parts of the seafloor that were once impossible to explore. In some areas, strange geometric patterns and massive underwater formations have been detected deep beneath the waves. Off the coast of Spain, scientists discovered unusual structures buried in marshlands near the Atlantic Ocean, leading some to speculate they could be connected to Plato's description of Atlantis. While experts remain divided, every unexplained discovery continues to fuel the belief that something ancient may still be hidden beneath the Earth's waters. One of the most debated theories places Atlantis near the Richat structure in Mauritania, often called the Eye of the Sahara. From above, the massive circular formation bears a surprising resemblance to Plato's description of Atlantis, concentric rings of land and water stretching across the desert. Supporters of the theory claim the region may once have been connected to ancient waterways thousands of years ago. Critics argue the structure is entirely natural and far too old to match Plato's timeline. But the similarities were enough to send researchers and internet investigators into a frenzy, turning the Eye of the Sahara into one of the most talked about Atlantis theories in modern history. At the same time, some scientists believe the real answer may have nothing to do with a single city at all. Instead, Atlantis could represent humanity's collective memory of ancient disasters that occurred at the end of the last ice age. Around 12,000 years ago, rising sea levels flooded huge areas of land across the planet. Entire coastlines vanished beneath the ocean as glaciers melted and climates changed rapidly. Communities living near the sea would have watched their worlds disappear forever. Over generations, those memories may have evolved into legends of a great civilization swallowed by the ocean in a single catastrophic event. Yet despite centuries of searching, no one has ever produced undeniable proof that Atlantis existed. No confirmed ruins, no surviving writings, no artifacts tied directly to the lost civilization. And still, the story refuses to die. Perhaps that is because Atlantis represents something deeper than a lost city. It represents humanity's fear of collapse, the idea that even the greatest civilizations can vanish without warning. Empires rise, technology advances, societies become powerful, and then, suddenly, everything falls apart. Atlantis became the perfect symbol of that fear. Today, the oceans still hide more than 80% of their depths unexplored. Beneath miles of darkness, mountains, valleys, and ruins may still remain undiscovered. Somewhere beneath those waters, the truth about Atlantis could already exist, buried under layers of sediment and silence for thousands of years. Or perhaps Atlantis was never meant to be found at all. Maybe its true power lies in the mystery itself, a story that continues to haunt humanity, because no matter how advanced we become, we still fear the possibility of losing everything overnight.
Atlantis may have vanished beneath the ocean, but its mystery continues to survive through history, legends, and unanswered questions. Was it only a myth or a forgotten civilization erased by time? Tell me your theory in the comments below. Subscribe to Professor Carter for more dark mysteries and cinematic documentaries, and I'll see you in the next story.